This week on Machinery Pete TV, some great tractors, both old and new, are found on this Iowa auction. This Farm Progress 4450 was certainly the talk of the sale. This old farmall brings with it a unique attachment and the benefit of data disconnect in operating old machinery.
Your machinery is a serious investment and at the heart of every farming operation. Some call it a passion. We're Machinery Pete TV, and today we'll cover everything from auction roundups to the classics to the latest trends and technology. Machinery Pete, the most trusted name in farm equipment.
Machinery Pete thanks these premier sponsors for their support. Sullivan Auctioneers. Let our team of professionals show you how to make your auction a success. Visit sullivanauctioneers.com. Hey folks, welcome to Machinery Pete TV. This week I'm in northwest Iowa in Granville, and I got to tell you folks, for 30 years now, every sale I've covered, I always look at the list and you can always tell that it's going to be a couple hot items. Well, we're going to show you what I think are going to be the three hottest items on the sale today. A low hour John Deere 8220, the 15th 4450 Deere ever made, and a 2002 Chevy 2500 pickup with only 60,000 miles on it. Now before all this fun, we got to go back and catch up on the latest farm machinery news.
All right, thanks Pete. I'm Clinton Griffiths. Cold weather and snow in parts of the Central Plains making for an early start to the winter feeding season for the nation's cattlemen. And there are plenty of cattle to feed. The latest cattle on feed report from USDA showing that as of October 1st, the number of cattle in the nation's feedlots were at a record high. There were 11.7 million head on lots, 4% higher than last year. Marketings, they came in at 1.85 million, that's up 6%. And placements also shot up 6% to 2.23 million head. Now, all of those cattle are starting to impact beef production. Last week, beef production was 2.6% higher than a year ago, even though slaughter numbers are only about 0.5% higher. That shows that cattle weights are still heavy due to all of the COVID-related processing disruptions from this spring. But overall, weather between the cold and drought conditions may be the biggest driver of feedlot numbers in the coming weeks.
If we just don't get any winter grazing potential, then we're going to probably wind up with more of these lighter weight cattle getting into the feedlots sooner rather than later. So it'll have implications all the way through the first half of next year. This is the time of year when we see beef cow slaughter at its seasonal peak, and that usually means seasonally low prices. We're seeing that, but again, the dry conditions probably plays into that, certainly in a broader regional and even national sense. With drought conditions in so many regions, we're probably seeing some additional culling pressure.
And restaurant chains Cracker Barrel, Golden Corral, and White Castle have filed a lawsuit against several big poultry processors, including Tyson Foods and Pilgrim's Pride. The restaurants want money back on purchases of chicken following recent indictments on alleged price fixing. They claim it's been going on since 2012. That's it for news. Now let's check on some recent auctions from around the country. And now back to Machinery Pete.
Folks, do me a favor, please stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this 1983 John Deere 4450, 6,596 hours on it. This is the 15th one ever made. Well, folks, probably the most talked about item on the sale right here, this 1983 John Deere 4450, 6,596 hours on it, one owner. It was actually shown at the 1983 Farm Progress Show, but the thing about this tractor, it's the 15th 4450 ever made.
Vern still has the thank you from the dealer that it came from, right here. That's back when they did it by hand. It said, thank you for your recent purchase of the 4450 tractor, November 1983. Farm Progress tractor, Nevada, Iowa, September 1983. It's pretty cool. Nice little memento right back here for you. All right, boys, what do we got to roll? That $41,000 bid, two. That $41,000 going to bid above 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. What do you get, two? That $41,000 bid, two. That $41,000 bid, two. Internet bidder, 41. Brent, your bidder's out. Todd, your phone bidder's out. At 41, 42,000. What do you got? Thank you. Yep, 41.5, and now 42. At 41.5, I'm going to bid above 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. At 41.5, 2. At 41.5, I'm going to bid above 1 at $42,000 bid. At 41.5, and now 42,000. At 41.5, I'm going to bid above 1 at $2,000 bid. Let's go. 41.5, and now 42. And now 41.5, 2. Sold at $41,500.
Hey folks, I'm here with Kelly Newenhouse. Kelly, your dad Vernon, his sale today, estate sale. I wish it was different circumstances we were here, but boy, it's been fun getting connected with you on Twitter. You put out some amazing videos leading up to the sale here.
Yeah, I love sharing our story, our family story, and my dad's history. And Twitter's a great tool to get that message out. And you know, people on social media love that kind of stuff. You know, I've had so many retweets and comments, and you know, they love it, from the new nice equipment that he used to the collecting items that he restored. So.
Right. Yeah, you've got some low hour, beautiful tractors, and then the vintage stuff, kind of that mixture, like you say. But Kelly, tell us about Dad, about Vernon.
Yeah, my dad started farming in 1959, the year I was born. He harvested his 60th crop in 2019. Retirement wasn't in his book. That was not going to happen, but he loved agriculture. He lived for agriculture. And you know, today we're selling some of his legacy, some of the material things, the equipment, but his true legacy is out here around this acreage, the farmland that he's acquired over his career in farming. You know, he started with 0 acres of ownership and ended up with 700 acres when he passed away. And he was always studying and doing research on how to improve his soils and his land, take care of the soil for the next generation. And so we're proud of that fact.
Well folks, show me an 18-year-old pickup with 60,000 original miles on it, and I'll show you some hot auction bidding, which I'm suspecting we're going to see today on this 2002 Chevy 2500 HD Silverado, 60,852 miles on it.
It's got that big Vortec 8100 V8 8.1 gas engine. It's got that good Allison 5-speed automatic transmission. Michelin tires, running boards, cloth interior, rubber bed mat, roll tarp, side bed rails. It's red. Internet bid 13. We're going to go from there at 13, 13.5. At $13,000, going to bid above it on a $500 bid now. At $13,000 bid 5. At 13.5 and now 14. At 13.5, I'm going to bid above it on a 14.5. At 14.5 and now 15.5. At 15,000, going to bid above 5 and now 16,000. At 16 and now 5. At 17. At 17.5. At 17.5, 18. 18.5. 18.5. 18.5. 19. At 19.5. At 19,000. We're going to bid above 1 at 5, 505, 505, 519.5. Here's going to be the only opportunity you're ever going to have to buy this pickup right here. 60,000 miles. 19,000. 19, 2.5. At 19,000, we're going to bid above 1 at $2.5 bid, $2.5 bid, $2.5 bid. At 19.5, money is right here. At 19,000, live money, internet's out. You're out here, sir. At 19,000, we're going to bid above 1 at $2.5 bid, $2.5 bid, $2.5 bid. At 19,250. Let's go, let's go, let's go. 19.5. Sold it, $19,000. Even money right here, and I thank you very much.
Here are a few more items that sold on today's sale.
Phones out, 8,500. At $82.5 bid, $8,500 bid, $8,500. At $82.5 bid, $8,500. Sold it, $82.50. At $14.5 and now $14,750. $14,750. $14,750. Sold it. $14,500. At $1,300 bid, $1,400 bid, $14. Thank you. At $1,300 bid, $1,400. Let's go. Let's go. $1,300 bid, $1,400. Sold it, $1,300 bid. At $3,500 bid, $7.5, $3,500 bid, $7.5. Let's go, $3,750. I sold that dandy tractor and elevator right here for $3,500. Let's go, internet. At $52.5 right here. Now $5,500. At $2.5 when you bid them up on the one, a $500 bid, a $500 bid, a $500. $5,500. Sold it, $5,250.
Your next piece of equipment is on MachineryPete.com. Search equipment from dealerships across the country to find what you're looking for. Only on MachineryPete.com.
I got an interesting note recently from David Barrowman from Missouri. He sent me this picture. David said, "Pete, here's a picture of a 1975 John Deere 3300 combine, 1,780 hours, cherry condition. I just picked up for $2,300, and it came with a 13-foot rigid platform. I had to give another $2,000 for the John Deere 343 3-row cornhead." And David said, "Pete, I'm wondering, it seems like more guys are getting into buying these smaller, older combines and getting them running. Are you seeing the same thing?" Well, our friend David is onto something, because yes, I am seeing this trend. And I think there's a couple things to it. On the one hand, the acquisition costs versus some of the antique tractors, the older tractors, much lower on an older combine. I mean, David was only into it $4,300 to get that 3300 in cherry condition with 2 heads. But I think beyond collecting, there's something deeper here. Our modern tractors and combines, they're fantastic. We appreciate them for what they are, but they're so computerized, there's so much data, the flat screens in the cab, our cell phones on our hip, we're just connected 24/7. There's no off switch. And I think when you hop in the cab of a John Deere 3300 and hook your 343 3-row cornhead and you go out to harvest, I think you're connecting back to the way your dad, your grandpa, your uncle, and your grandma did it. And I think it's kind of an off switch to our modern life, which honestly I think we all need to find our own ways to have our own off switches these days. Welcome back to Tractor Tales, folks. This week we're off to the Volunteer State, Portland, Tennessee, and we're going to learn about a classic farmall. The unique thing about this farmall is the cultivator that it's attached to. This is the original piece of equipment that was sold with this tractor.
This is an early 1920, I think, McCormick farmall. It was called a Regler. It was built right before the F-20. It ended up being the F-20. There again, this is not a real rare tractor, but the reason it's here is because it's still got this cultivators on it, and it's got extremely hard to find the equipment that went with these tractors. They've long gone to scrap. There again, this old tractor runs like a top. It'll quarter just about any time you get ready to crank her. This is one of the tractors now it's on loan. This tractor belongs to a man named Dickie Thompson in Springfield, Tennessee. He's kind of put it on loan so other people can enjoy it. We have a plow day, which we've not done it in a while, but Dickie actually, before he brought it over, I think he cultivated some corn with it. Well, he said he was working, but he was more or less playing a little bit. These are big boys' toys, you know. A lot of people think all your international McCormicks were red, but the early tractors were a gray or a dark gray like this. This blue and red is actually the way the early implements were painted blue and red. It's an older restoration, but it's just a good old tractor, you know. The main, what most people enjoy about this tractor is the cultivators, because there again, even after the tractors quit working, they could still do belt work. I'm sure this was aggravating to use in the field because it's all hand lift, so once everybody went to hydraulics, all this old equipment's been, it disappeared quick, long before the tractors,
Stay tuned, folks. Coming up, our feature item on the sale today, and they've been getting a ton of calls on this thing. A 2003 John Deere 8220. It's got 2,285 hours on it.
Got equipment to sell privately but tired of scams and hassles? Visit MachineryPete.com and click Sell Mine. MachineryPete.com, the simple and secure way to buy and sell equipment online.
Well, folks, exactly 1 week ago, I saw on a consignment auction in Northeast Missouri a 2004 John Deere 8220, 1,959 hours on it, sold for $101,500. Now, our feature item on today's sale is 1 year older. It's a beautiful 03 model with 2,285 hours.
All right, folks, you're going to buy a cream puff right here. We got internet bid out of Ohio in 83.5. 83.5, and now 84,000. At 83.5, I'll look at a bid of up to 1 to 440, get 440, get 440, 84,000. At 83.5, and now 84. At 83.5, I'll look at a bid of up to 1 to 4,000. I'll get 85,000 internet, and now 86,000. At 85,000, I'll look at a bid of up to 1 to $6,000 bid. At 85,000, I'll 86,000. At 85,000, I'll look at a bid of up to 1 to 86. 85.5, now 86,000. At 86.5, and now 87. At 86.5, I'll look at the bid of about 1 to 7 a day. At 86.5, and now 7. At 7, Clark. 87.5, and now 88.5. At 88,000, I'll look at the bid of about 1 to 5, 88.5. At 88,000, 85. What do you got? 89.5, and now $90,000. At 89.5, I'll look at the bid of about 1 to 90. At 89, 90,500, now 91. At 90,000, $500, now 1. At 9,500, I'll get about 1, 90,500 on the internet. We're asking 91,000. At 90,500, now 91. At 90,500, now we're going to get about 1, 91, and now 92. At 91,000, we're going to get about 1 or 2 when you get 2 when you get 2. At 91,000, I'll get 500. At 91,000, we're going to get about 1 or 500, I'll get 91.5. At 91, and now 91.5. Last call. 91.5, 91.5, 91.5. Sold it, $91,000.
Well, folks, internet bidding, we know, has changed everything. Proof of that today on our feature item, the 03 John Deere 8220, 2,285 hours, sells to a buyer from Florida for $91,000. Now, coming into the sale today, the average auction price on the last 33 8220 sold, $65,800 and change. Well, folks, imagine how many international 1066 tractors I've seen sold at auction over the last 31 years I've been compiling prices. If you tally them all up, it's actually over 1,200 I've seen sold. Now, given that context, it's so interesting that just in the last couple months, I've seen the 2 highest auction prices ever on 1066s. Now, it started back on August 14th, 2020, farm auction in Hardington, Nebraska. Our friends at CHJ Auctioneers sold this 1066, which was an original with only 794 actual hours on it, and they sold it for $46,000. That includes the online buyer's fee. Now, that $46,000 mark, that was $15,000 over the prior high auction price on a 1066, which was all the way back on August 26th of 2004 on a farm auction in Ottumwa, Iowa, where a 75 model, only 891 hours on it, went for $31,000. So, $46,000 record price, probably stand forever, right? Nope, it lasted just over a month, because on September 22nd of 2020, our good friends at Almond Vintage Power sold this 1066, a 71 model, actually the very first one made, only had 2,993 actual original hours on it, was owned by well-known collector Jerry Everett out of Strawberry, Iowa. And this thing sold for $86,100. Well, folks, I think you know me by now. I'm kind of a numbers guy, and big fun today. We flipped the numbers 1 and 9 and came out with a lot of fun. $91,000 on our feature item, the 8220. And how about this Chevy 2500, the 02, 60,000 miles, $19,000. Definitely the hottest item on the sale today. Now tune in next week to Machinery Pete TV. We'll have some more fun stuff to show you. Machinery Pete thanks these premier sponsors for their support. Sullivan Auctioneers. Let our team of professionals show you how to make your auction a success. Visit sullivanauctioneers.com.